city sleeps and the lights go low, questions arise on how rules flow. Sean's here to guide in the quiet night air, bringing truth and justice with a steady stare. After dark we roll, the questions ignite. Let's talk about the road in the calm moonlight. It's more than cars, it's how we steer. Sean Shapiro's voice is crystal clear. Brake lights shimmer, the stories unfold. Traffic and wisdom, stories retold. Seatbelt tight, let's cruise down this lane. Answers from Sean, it's never in vain. The road is long, but the talk is real. Regrets and curiosity, both we can heal. Reflections deep as the asphalt winds, combining the laws and the soulful lines. After dark we roll, the questions ignite. Let's talk about the road in the calm moonlight. It's more than cars, it's how we steer. Sean Shapiro's voice is crystal clear. Signals a tale to tell, from speed traps to fates we all know so well. Wisdom flows like lanes under night's embrace. Sean guides your journey at an even pace. City sleeps and the lights go low, questions arise on how rules flow. Sean's here to guide in the quiet night air, bringing truth and justice with a steady stare. After dark we roll, the questions ignite. Let's talk about the road in the calm moonlight. It's more than cars, it's how we steer. Sean Shapiro's voice is crystal clear. Brake lights shimmer, the stories unfold. Traffic and wisdom, stories retold. Seatbelt tight, let's cruise down this lane.
Hey, look at that. Wait, the music stopped. That's not right. How you doing, everybody? My name is Sean Shapiro. I am a former police officer who talks about traffic safety, traffic law, law. Yeah, that's what it's called. And police stuff too. Just whatever you want to talk about, we're talking about it. This is After Dark, and I am trying something new. I am going vertical. Yeah, it was really bugging me that some people don't feel like I'm up close and personal if I'm doing the wide angle thing, because I can go wide. Can I switch it? I can't switch it once we're live. Oh well, I thought I could. I can't. But normally I'm letterbox, and tonight we're not doing that. Tonight we're doing something entirely different. We are just chatting about stuff and things. I'm gonna have so much fun. There's a lot of cool stuff that's going on tonight, or that today signifies. One is the 31st day of me being carb free, which is only relevant because today I brought home cookies from Costco for my family and warmed them up. And there's nothing that smells better than a warm cooked cookie, chocolate chip. Okay, peanut butter would make it even better. But I was tortured by the smell, but it was amazing. And it's almost, I don't even need to eat it. I was just smelling it. It was so good. Neha says, yo, love the AI music. I love that too. I really, really enjoyed it. Why aren't we hearing it? Hang on, I thought I had that figured out. AI music. Press play. Press play again. There we go. Just let that simmer in the background. If it's too loud, you let me know. I'm wondering what you're all up to tonight. The night before Friday, before the weekend kicks in, before all the fun stuff happens. And Neha loves Costco cookies too. I've never tried one. I don't know. I just know they smell amazing. Yes. We got friends popping in all over the place here. We've got let's see here, Vicky and Taylor and Start Driving School 7. How's it going? Thin White Line Interceptor. That's Ryan. How's it going? You've been seeing your pictures of the Peel Regional Police cars. Their new fleet. Their stuff and flashy stuff. Looks cool. Jason J, what's going on? Jason J, keto for life. Right on. That might be me for the rest of my life too. We've got Honda Miggs. Welcome. And then we've got, who else is here? We've got a question I asked last time too. Can you call 911 while driving if you suspect someone is DUI? Yes, you can. I feel like my music might be too loud now. You can absolutely. There's an exemption under the Highway Traffic Act to allow you to, there we go, to use your handheld communication device in the event of an emergency to call the appropriate emergency people, 911. That's what it's for. That's when you can use it, absolutely. Neon, what's going on? He says, Sean, hey stranger. Hello, Undead Neon, long time no talk. And then he has, we got that. We already answered that question. Just want to make sure we didn't miss it. So many cool things going on. Are you watching any interesting television? Because with 1923, and I think that's what it's called, the latest season of the Yellowstone franchise, well, it's done. And that was my Sunday night. And now I don't know what to do. It's not cool. I wanted it to keep going. I'm like not cool about it being over. But I'm going to get through it. I am. And I hope you are too. If you have opinions of what you think the best show is on television now, I need to know. Like right now. And if you're watching, please tap and tickle the screen on your TikTok account to show likes. I want to see what's going on. I'm wondering if this vertical. First of all, what do you think? Is vertical better? That's what I want to know. Was the widescreen better? Peter John Williams, is it better widescreen or vertical like this? I need to know. These are important things. So we're sitting out here and chilling out, and we are talking about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff because that's what I do. But I want to know about other things in your life. I'd like to know what's going on when it comes to some videos I have queued up. I'm looking for favorite television shows to replace my Sunday night lineup. I got one for you. I don't know if you've got access to it, but it's called The Pit. Oh yeah. It's like, The Pit is this ER, and it's outstanding. I watched 2 episodes of it last night. I think they have 14 that have come out. I'm hooked. I'm going to watch an episode after this night, after tonight. So good. And I can't wait the clip. I have to get a clip of this for social media. But they have is either a electric unicycle or scooter rider that comes into the ER, And I won't ruin it until I put it up on screen for you, but wow. Wow. Just awesome. Super, superb, splendid, whatever you want to call it. Is it not looping? Does it not loop? Do I have to press the special? Loop the track. There we go. I was wondering what was going on. Brandon, I need you to send me a message because I downloaded the Song of Songs, the song we created a couple of episodes ago. Specifically, the Melon Joke with Your Catering. I have listened to it a dozen or more times. I think it's a top 10 of all time greatest songs. That might be an exaggeration, but I want to share it. If you haven't heard the song, I guess I could say, now that I got the looping music down, I gotta pause it because I want to play you the song. Let's get the Melon song. I love the song.
Why do melons have weddings, you say? Well, they just can't elope, it's the melon way. They're rolling down the aisle in a beautiful hue, with laughter and love and that cantaloupe view. Oh, love's a feast, let the good times flow. Brandon's catering, ain't you in the know? Ribeyes, roasting potatoes on the side, garlic fettuccine, oh, it can't be denied.
I have far too much fun with AI music generation.
They'll exchange their vows in that fruity embrace, with their rind all polished, pure melon grace, and the bruschettas piled a...
Interesting way to pronounce bruschetta. Maybe that's correct. I don't know. But I know it's tasty and I'm not eating it. It's carbs. Let's see here. We've got some comments that I've been ignoring. First off, it was the first comment was from Brandon. I started off on a tangent there. Good evening, all. Good evening, all. Busy day getting the Corvette PPF paint protection film prepared for an upcoming road trip. Oh, really? Does this involve food or just driving places? I need to know more. Okay. Long and low says, hey, did you see my video I tagged you in? I downloaded a whole bunch of videos that I saw. I don't know which one yours is offhand. I don't know if it made it into this review. So a couple of things. A, I'm sharing a bunch of videos with you and reacting to them. But then I am also doing individual videos for social media. Because. We got Nihao says, someone from Peel Regional Police said, no, you can't, but I was in Toronto. Yeah, someone from Peel was wrong. You can absolutely call. A Peel Regional person told you can't call 911 while you're driving. If you see an impaired driver, you absolutely can call. It's a risk to public safety. You can absolutely call. The person you got was wrong. So earlier, Niha said, I want to know if you can use your phone for emergency to call 911. Absolutely, and an impaired driver is an emergency. Even if it turns out they weren't impaired, it's still an emergency. They're driving all over the place, they're putting lives at risk. It's a legitimate call. You can't call for pizza. It's an emergency because you're hungry. That's not okay. Calling 911 for an impaired driver is absolutely legit. Let's see here. Niha says, vertical video seems less official, more casual, gives a friendly appearance. Well, friendly is good. You can be friendly. Am I too big? I can make myself smaller. I hadn't thought of that until just now. Let's have a look. Maybe we'll customize my look. What do we got here? Stand by, please. I can make this smaller. Ooh, I can. If I layered this, I can actually put myself at the desk behind the tea lights. Maybe it's too small. This just looks weird. Okay, well, for another time. Brandon says the song is awesome. Wayne C says, evening, Sean. Good evening, Wayne. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I've got to reset my screen, put it back where I left it. I messed my stuff up. Now I can't see what I want to see. If you're watching and you don't know what is going on, why is this bearded fellow on the screen? My name is Sean Shapiro, and I am a former police officer. That's right. I was a police officer, and now I'm not. I left after just under 25 years of service, and I had a fantastic time. Every moment was magical, almost every moment, but there's so much to unpack there. However, now I've continued my life in the after the badge business of continuing to educate people about stuff and things. Very important to me. Absolutely. And if you've got questions about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff, I'm your guy. I know stuff and things. I was a traffic guy. So feel free to, oh, someone says my audio is messed up. My audio is messed up. Does anyone else experience this messed up audio business? I can try and boost it. Let's see. Here's boosting some audio. Let me know if that helps. Or no, maybe I've got, let's see here. Maybe I really did screw up the audio. Let me know if it's still a problem. Oh, I said press this in the mute thing. Hang on, what's that? I got my music back.
Sean Shapiro's voice is crystal clear.
Okay. That man says, did you have Suno write that? I don't remember if it was ChatGPT fed into Suno. It was Suno who did the Melons song. Absolutely. Let me know if so Salt Creep says you can't hear. Was it only Salt Creep? Let me know if the audio is better now. Hopefully it is. Actually, let's just check it here. That sounds good on my end. Like it appears on my phone that's good. How does the insurance work for G1? That's Jay who wants to know. It is. It's pretty simple. You need to be driven in. The supervising driver has to have their insurance. They have to be a qualified driver with at least 4 years experience and a full G. That experience that counts towards being a supervisor starts at G2, includes G. So that means they could be 2 years as a G2, 2 years as a G. They'd be qualified to supervise and have 4 dots in the right-hand corner of the license to signify that. And they have insurance on the vehicle, and they're supervising you. You don't need specific insurance to operate that vehicle. You're being supervised. Oh, that man says it's a little loud. Which part is loud? I am loud or the music is loud? Because I can adjust both. I boosted it based on... yeah, here we go. I dropped mine back a little bit. All right. If you don't mind, I would really appreciate you tapping the screen so your fingers go numb. Send likes my way. That helps the others on the application find out that we're doing this. Talking about stuff and things, answering your traffic and police questions. Ontario focused, but that doesn't mean we can't talk about things outside of Ontario. Norman is here to talk about Black's Law, an outdated baloney piece of information that's no longer relevant. But he likes to spam the chat, and I haven't blocked him because I got a soft spot for him. But I'd appreciate if you don't spam tonight. That way we don't have to really revisit this concept of muting. He wants me to believe, and I'm a little bit beyond that. I know what the law actually is. Let's see here. The music, but it's fine as long as you're talking. Okay. Oh, the music was too loud. Okay. Well, I dropped the music down. Hopefully it stays down. Who knows what'll happen? Let's see here. We've got. Long and Low says it was on Instagram. See, the problem is I got a bunch of stuff. Let's see. So here's a video that I got. Well, this one I actually addressed already. I don't know if I addressed it in the stream, but I've addressed it in the comments. Hopefully this won't be too loud. We'll try and keep it low. But
technically, you're not allowed to be charging your phone in there either. I'm not going to jam you up for it. But it is theft of electricity. It is a criminal charge. We're not going to.
Oh my God!
Go that route, but it is a charge, right?
You want to charge me with charging my phone?
I'm telling you that I am not going to do that. Okay. You'll see in the video when you rewatch it, because you're clearly not listening to what I'm saying.
No, I'm listening to you.
Okay.
But
so
getting rushed, right? But getting rushed by 4 cops.
So if you caught what's going on here, Buddy was told he was trespassed for charging his phone. And or whatever he was doing, but part of it was that he was charging his phone inside their business. And Copper says, "Hey, just so you know, it's against the law to steal electricity." And he was like, "What do you mean? Like, it's charging my phone." Anyway, the officer was informing him, educating him. I think he did a great job. He was not being charged nor threatened to be arrested. He was just being informed of the law. So interested to know what you think. Do you think being taught, educated about what's going on is a good thing? Is a bad thing? I mean, it could have. He didn't. I don't think he even charged him for trespassing. I think he just said you're being told not to be here because he could have been charged. Dustin Mayhew says, "Hey Sean, hey Arya. Music is too loud. Really? The music is too. It's so low in my ear. Okay, let's see if we make it lower.
Both we can heal. Reflections deep as the asphalt winds.
Checking it out. It is loud. It's turning it off. I'm annoyed by it. It's just not worth it. I was keeping it really low before, but this is it's silly. I didn't mean it for it to be that low. I have it on the lowest setting. The lowest setting. Don't know why it's so loud. Like there's a slider. It was mute or 1. It was on 1. Obviously not working properly. My apologies for the miserable sound. I thought it was kind of cool to have the audio going. But I appreciate you, G. Thanks for letting me know. Dustin Mayhew says, so petty though. To which to educate him on the laws. I mean, if that was party to why they were asking him to leave, like he's not buying coffee, he's just charging his phone, and the officer says, hey dude, you got to go because they don't want you in here because you're not buying anything, and they specifically mention the fact that you're charging the phone, stealing electricity, then saying that is actually a criminal offense, I don't think that's wrong. I think that's actually just being cool. Like, dude, this is a thing. Like you could actually be charged for that. I looked it up when I first saw the video, so I have seen the video before, and I had never even looked at that. Like, where does one even start researching that? Theft of electricity for like a drug dealer who's cooking meth or growing weed illegally and is drilling through the foundation of your house to steal it from your neighbor. That's what it's really intended for, I think. But I never thought of it being applied for charging your phone. Maybe people shouldn't put electrical outlets near tables. Like, it's not a thing. It's not. But I thought it was pretty funny. Dustin says, I mean, before it escalated to that point that the police showed up, you call, explain to him. Before you call, explain it to him. Yeah, there's tons of ways it could have been handled. But I really enjoyed the video because I think he was like really being chill. He didn't have to go and say, obviously we don't see the whole thing here. We didn't see them escort him out. Maybe there was a whole thing like I wasn't doing anything wrong and he was trying to explain what trespass to property. Like, we don't know what happened. That part alone, I found it interesting. But I didn't think he did anything wrong. And although I don't think I'd ever go there, I don't think he did anything wrong. Now, do we do a video or do we talk about something else? That is the question. We've got, and Long and Low, what is the specific video? Give me a hint as to which video is, because I clipped them, and maybe I've got your video here. Maybe I can hit it next. Maybe. If you've got traffic and police questions, then drop them in the comments. I want to talk about them. But maybe everybody knows everything, because most of the people here, or many of the people here, are here regularly. So maybe it's a video. Maybe that's where we got to go. That's what we got to do. Okay, let's see. All I can think of cookies, though. It's like I got cookie on the brain because I smelt it. And the cookie I'm talking about is the one from Costco. Chocolate chip. Amazing. Oh, Norman. Still sending stuff. I see a couple messages that popped into the chat. Brandon says the song is awesome. Road trip to Miami F1 Grand Prix. Sweet. That sounds awesome. Brandon says, quick fact, when you take your motor vehicle to the track, your vehicle may not be insured, but you can get special track insurance. Now, is that expensive? I would expect that would be a pricey trip. Well, like for track insurance. So what like is it? First of all, I just found out a friend of mine is paying $700 a month for insurance. And he is 50, but he's new to the country. $700. Been driving forever, although it was in another country. $700. That's insane to me. Just wild. Nicholas wants to know if I reviewed the train video I sent you. I don't think I've seen the train video unless I responded and I didn't realize you wanted me to review it. But I don't have it queued up. I've got 5 videos, one of which I've already played. One of them is one of them. Let's get into the This one to me is just amazing. And I'll kill the music, but what awesomeness. People do not get that trucks just can't see the itty bitty car on their bumper. What a wake up call that must have been. I would have loved to investigate it. I would have loved to see the video afterwards and have a conversation with the driver going, what were you thinking? Like, where did you have to go that you thought, I'll just push my way right in there and it's going to be okay? Like, no. Okay, one more time just because I enjoy it so much. Yeah, this is a good idea. Let's do this. Like, the guy doesn't even see him, and you can't expect the truck to see them. I remember I did play this on a live stream before because I talked about the fact that a Mini got pushed up onto the upper deck of the Gardner because the Mini driver did exactly this move. A really dumb move. Love it. Just love it. Yes. My wife says, thankfully, the truck wasn't driving too fast. Oh, well, the thing is, if the truck was driving fast, it would have been farther away and it would have seen them. But because they were they snuck in, there's no way for them to have figured it out or seen it. Honda Mig says, track insurance is for the day, can vary in price. Well, that's good to know. I'm not doing it. I'm not taking my my full size truck on the track, but it is it's one of those things I'm curious about. Norman, you're spamming with stuff that means nothing. It's not even real law. It's old, outdated stuff. It means nothing. Hang on. I need to press a button here for Norman. I'm sorry, Norman. We're going to mute you. Take a 5-minute break. It's all right. I like to be able to see the actual questions. I mean, it's probably good for metrics, even though it's annoying. It's only annoying because you're talking about stuff that's not factual. I appreciate you. Just don't do it in the spam. You can DM me with it, but don't put it in the spam. Or don't spam the chat. Jay, thanks for sharing the live. If you're watching and you don't already follow me, please do. We do this Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. and then Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. And I'm trying to gauge what's a better time. Like 9 p.m. I just picked out of a hat. Is it good for you? Is 7 o'clock better? Is it earlier better? I'd like to know. And is 10 o'clock good for you? Because that's what the majority of shows are 10 a.m. because I think that's what I did and it coincided with Jerry Egg on the radio. But maybe I need to adjust that. Maybe it should be 9 a.m. Maybe it should be 11, 12, 1. Like, just tell me. I want to know. What is the best time? Your vote matters. It may not with upcoming things in the country, but it certainly matters with the planning of this show. Because if you're not here, it's not a show. I'm all about answering your questions. You got to be here to ask them. Okay. Krish says, are private car meets and group cruises legal? Well, that depends. What do you mean car meets? Where are they being held? Are they just car shows? Like, are you just going for coffee and looking at each other's cars, or are you doing burnouts? It depends. Private car meets that are doing nothing illegal should be fine, but New York region, certain events will trigger an unfortunate, like up to $10,000 fine for the organizers, I think. And he goes on to say, car season's coming up. Want to talk about the legality of car meets and cruises in Ontario. So, yeah, again, I need to understand exactly what you're talking about. So a car meet, if it's a sanctioned event, like I would talk to the local authorities and tell them what you're doing and make sure, because a lot of them, even if you're legit, don't want the bad actors to show up and cause problems. So that's, excuse me, it really depends. It really depends. But I would definitely get clearance from the local police to make sure you're not going to get shut down and fined. But York Region wants nothing to do with this stuff, from everything I've seen in the media, and yeah, doesn't look like they're welcoming it there. And I think in Toronto, it really depends. There's no bylaws. Like York created bylaws to specifically address it. Other jurisdictions may have. Toronto, I don't believe, has done anything to prevent it. But obviously, police show up and check things out and make sure it's good to go. They want to know. Okay. Mark wants to know if I've ever worked when the Jays got out of. Have you ever worked when Jays got out near Rogers Center, Violation Central? Yeah, I used to always take the intersection right at Spadina. Most people call it Spadina, but it's wrong. It's actually called Spadina. I was informed a number of years ago, and now I have to tell everybody that I meet and talk whenever I refer to Spadina, or formerly known as Spadina, but it's Spadina. So it's a family name apparently. Sandy says, quick question. I want to be a cop. Do they want our driving record fully clean? Well, if we go to the Toronto Police website and look under police constable, it says that you have to have no more, or you may not have more than 6 demerit points on your license in order to qualify. You have to be legally permitted to operate your vehicle without conditions or restrictions. So you can't be a learner driver. You can't be under 20 because you'd have conditions. It would be a thing. Hey, welcome to and I can't see. And Antosh just joined. What's going on? Okay. We got other videos. We got other stuff going on. Oh, the train video I sent your DMs. Oh, yeah. Okay, so Nicholas, you did DM me a video. It said how to be a comedian for $75. I didn't realize it was a collision. I saw it. I didn't get a chance to open it yet. That was a video that was very. It was saying about stand-up comedian for $75. That was the headline. I don't know. I didn't open it yet. I thought it was stand-up comedy related. I didn't realize it was a crash or oopsie-doo video. I'll have to check it out later and put it in for next time. Let's look at another video. This one's
Yo. Why are you running?
Yo, what's wrong? Why
are you running? Bro, I have a dash cam. I called the cops already. Just pull over. I called the cops already. Pull over. Bro, we'll talk about it. Pull over. Bro, I already called the cops. Dash cam.
Alright, you hit me.
Yo, pull over. Just, whatever, pull over. I have a dash cam.
Pull over then.
Go, I'm following you guys. No, I'm following you. I already called the cops. Bro, I got your license plate and everything. Just pull over.
Chill. Pull over.
Everything. I'm following you guys. Go.
Chill. Listen. Yo, dash cam. Yo, pull over this cop.
I know, you go ahead.
the one time I think hazards would be a good idea.
Bro, everything's blessed. Just go forward. We're gonna get hit.
Yo, you hit my car.
Bro, just pull over forward.
That's your car.
Just pull forward.
Pull over. I'm not running.
I'm not running. I just ran for the last 2 minutes, but I'm not running. Wow. Okay. There's a bunch to unpack there. Holy moly, that's an insane video. I saw the initial chase and I said, oh, I'll just do it live. That video is, I don't have words. The level of stupid. I mean, the first guy has a legitimate, oh crap. Did I just, no, okay, we're good. So the first guy has a legit issue, the car that was hit. How the other car thought, like, this is why dash cameras are so important. I'm actually trying to buy a bunch of dash cams. I want to give some dash cams away because I want them to be on your car. So I would like to create some raffles and or some contests and give them away because I want you to have the protection of a dash camera. It drives me bananas when people don't have dash cameras because what if that was you? Now, hopefully you wouldn't get into a pursuit situation and risk your life like that. But if you have a dash camera, at least you have a chance of capturing that information and keeping yourself safe and just not engaging. My suggestion is you don't chase, because that could have ended horribly. Horribly. Christoph says, late nights with Ben, so different from the morning shows. Keep up the great content. He says, autocorrect, Sean, was said. Sure it was. I got a funny story for you. I was going to the, preparing for the auto show. I don't think it was this last auto show. I think it was the last year, the year before, I should say, 2023 and 2024. And I ordered business cards, and on the order form, they said, thanks for the order, Ben. We'll have it ready for you for the auto show. Shapiro as a surname, everyone thinks of Ben first. I've gotten used to it. I'm also much taller than him, so I don't care. It's okay. Ethan says, we can't hear you well, by the way. I wonder why that is. I wonder if that was because the video was playing. Oh, just hear honking. So the audio for that video was overpowering. Thank you, Ethan. I got to figure out why the levels are so high when I play a video embedded. It shouldn't be. But hey, thank you for letting me know. It was only during the video. I think what happens is it makes it louder, even though I'm trying to control the audio. We'll have to figure this one out. And yeah, maybe I just won't talk during the video. But thank you for that feedback. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Mark Sear says, have you ever been in a chase on duty? How common is it in the GTA? I've been in a couple of chases, nothing crazy. Anything that went, I would have called off that chase had it been me involved in it as a police officer, not as a civilian. Wouldn't have gotten involved with it as a civilian. But I still can't get over that video. Wow. And I wonder what the speeds were. I'm going to guess they were 170. I think 170 would have been a good estimate. Ethan says, yes, do some dash cam raffles. Absolutely. Well, two things. I want to talk to some dash camera manufacturers. I'd like to get them involved with giving this stuff, because the stuff I'm doing right now, I'm looking to buy a bunch of fairly low-end models just to get people who don't have anything, not because I'm going to give away thousands of dollars of stuff. But I do, if I can get some good deals on some brand new dash cams, I will get them. And I'll give them away, because again, I want people to have them, protect themselves. But in terms of some high-end ones, if you know a dash cam manufacturer, Viofo, I'm talking to you. Viofo, did you hear me? I know they do some work with a friend of mine, and I want them to give them to my listeners, to my viewers, to my peeps. Okay. Keith says, Keith followed the host. Thanks very much for the follow. And Yellow Monkey says, since he chased him, would he get into any legal trouble? So he would be in real big doggy doo-doo if he caused a collision. Like he would be giving his video as evidence saying, look, I had a reason, and he would still be responsible for any collision he created. Even if he chased the other guy and the other guy lost control while running away, it could be argued that he pushed him to go faster. Like the other guy left, yeah, he was fleeing, but he wasn't doing 180. He was only doing 180 because he was being chased, and then he was scared. So it would have created a big issue. So he's very fortunate that there was only the one collision and it wasn't his fault. But everything that happened afterwards, not a good idea. You have insurance for a good reason. You have the dash cam to say the guy hit you. Even though you can't identify him, they're going to waive the deductible because it's a legit situation. Ryan Golamali, he says, what do you think of officers not pulling me over for not having a front plate? Why don't they care? You have to assume they didn't see it. It's unlikely they saw the plate and ignored it, as opposed to they weren't paying attention, right? Like, not every officer is a traffic officer, one. Two, not every officer is actively engaged in proactive policing and looking for auto-specific traffic-related offenses. So that's the other thing. They could have had a prisoner on board. They could be going to another call. They could be going for lunch. They could be doing anything. They could be thinking and not looking, for offenses. But for an officer who's a traffic officer, that was my all night. In fact, when I was a divisional officer, all the guys that I worked with, they were all over it. License plate lights, headlights, taillights out, anything, any reason to talk to you, any reason to say, hey, here's a problem. Whether they gave you a charge or not, they were pulling you over. They were doing an investigation. And especially at night, on a club night, that was a great way to get guns and drugs and impaired drivers galore. And the truth is, they can pull you over for anything, but it's so much nicer when there's a good reason outside of the legal reasons, just a valid, here's an offense. I remember pulling a guy over and he's like, dude, I just got 15 tickets last week. I'm like, you have a heat score. You are putting a sign on the back of your car, but not having, he had purple license plate light bulbs. They're illegal. You have to have a white light. He was getting pulled over constantly and he was getting charged up the rear. And I said, just put white lights here. And if you drive normal, you won't get pulled over. But, I actually tried to help him out because I felt bad for him. He wasn't necessarily a good guy, but he was not a horrible guy. And he was getting just raked over the coals because he kept breaking the law, or he was still breaking the law. Okay. Let's see. What is this? Oh, Christoph says, I'm currently going through to be a corrections officer. Any advice from a former police officer? Corrections officer is a great thing. I like a great career. I've got friends who are, all the way in there. They are, just a couple years away from retirement, and they've had a good run. I have a problem with it. I wouldn't want to be locked up with the bad guys. I did it as a court officer during the day. Just being constantly inside for me doesn't sound good. But if that works for you, it's a great place to be in terms of working for the provincial government. But why not police? Is there a reason you're avoiding policing? Policing is to me the best option. Just saying. Krish says he says Krish says, I see. So what about cars and coffee style meetup in a plaza lot, then heading out for a group cruise? Still legal if everyone follows the rules. If everyone's following the rules, you're not doing anything wrong. Something says you can't go for a drive and not break the law. But if a large group of cars, especially high-end, noisy, like following the rules means all the rules. So if you have, underglow or you have, super dark tints, or someone decides to run a yellow to keep up with the pack, like you're just asking for trouble because you're drawing attention to yourself. But that's for the drive part. If you're just going into a parking lot and you're legal for the road, I can't see anything happening that's not a good thing, or nothing bad happening. That's what I meant. Now, let's see here. Brandon says, tomorrow is my 24th anniversary of becoming a chef. So I will be posting 2 of my favorite recipes on Telegram for the fantastic members to enjoy. Thank you. If you are not part of our Telegram group, and I can tell you that majority of you are not, you're more than welcome. You are invited, cordially, in fact, invited to join our Telegram group. It's telegram.trafficcop.ca, and you can join our little group of people who hang out and chat about stuff and things in between shows, whenever you got a question. It's just the easiest way to reach out and say hey. And I don't push the group because it's kind of elite, kind of special. But occasionally I bring it up, and if you're around to hear about it and you want to join, you're more than welcome. Nicholas says, I saw a guy going way over 150 on the 403 around 5 a.m. and 1 kilometer later he crashed into the back of a truck. He was 23 years old and died. I looked his name, that I forget now, up, and he had a history of doing donuts in parking lots and wrapping his car around lampposts. I just have a strong feeling that the guy's parents talked to him about his charges and how dangerous he was doing behind the wheel. Am I missing? It's a very long message and it's very tiny print, so my apologies for doing a horrible job of reading it. Wrapping his car around a lamppost. I just have a strong feeling that guy's parents talked to him about his charges and how dangerous he was being behind the wheel. And then it got cut off. But you know what? Here's the thing. Parents do what they can, but they can't, talk the stupidity out of some people. Some people just need to do what they got to do because they can't control themselves. And that's a really crappy excuse I'm giving right now. People can do better. They choose not to. They think they're invincible, and then bad things happen. It's a no good. And it's deadly. It's sad. Marikai movement for Meg. Is that your graduation picture in tininess I can't see from here? Welcome to the live. Kay Vicari, how's it going? Love Amanda Panda says, wait, did he stop in the middle of the highway? This is obviously, I'm behind in my messages, but yes, he stopped in the middle of the highway for that. I can play this without the sound so you can watch that horror show again. Really bugging me why I can't control the audio. There used to be a display that allowed me to do it, but apparently not. Okay, whatever. Okay, I'm really hyper-focused on, where's the volume control? Okay. All right, we got Honda Mig says Blackview does sponsorships. Making a note. I need to reach out to them. We need Blackview's a great company. That was my first dash cam. And you know what the cool thing or the sad thing or the thing that my connection to Blackview was that my buddy Andrew Hong sold me a Blackview. He used to resell. He was a reseller of dash cams. Like we had a side hustle. And for those who don't know who Andrew Hong is, he's my buddy who was murdered. He was a police officer who went to grab a coffee at Tim Hortons, and he was gunned down waiting for his coffee. But that's my dash cam. My first dash cam was bought from him. Yep. There you go, Honda Migs. Make me all sad about my friend. No, I'm kidding. It is a sad situation. It's a horrible thing that he was taken from us, but I'm just kidding about guilting you. Okay. Love Amanda Panda says, crazy car crash on my street this afternoon. A bunch of questions for you. Love Amanda Panda continues to say, cops never came, only firefighters. I had all the footage of what happened on my door cam, and they brushed me off when I told them this. Really? I let the firefighters know that I saw exactly what happened, and I was initially brushed off and told that no one was hurt. And then they go on to say, the lady driving was speeding and no cops to ask what happened. I had the footage for my door camera. Well, first off, I would love to see the dash camera or the door camera footage. If you still have it, feel free to go to trafficcop.ca. I actually have a portal where you can upload footage directly to my drive, and I'd love to have a look at it, and we could talk about it on the show. That would be really amazing. But in terms of why did a police officer not attend? Well, if you're in the city of Toronto, if you go look at the criteria for why we police officers attend, you'll see right there. So unless a party is transported by ambulance to hospital, they will not come. They will not come unless there's a criminality or a situation where there's possibly no insurance or no driver's license. If there's charges to be laid, they come. If there's a property damage like a tree or government property, the street, something like that, they have to attend. Let me pull up the criteria because I'm sure I'm missing a few. TPS crash. Collision reporting. When will police attend a collision? Excuse me. Well, they will show up if the collision involves a fatality. That one I think is a gimme. The collision involves a serious personal injury where a person is transported to hospital by ambulance. That's one, because if you drive yourself, they don't come. You can go if you're capable of going outside of an ambulance or without an ambulance assistance, then you can report it yourself, apparently. Criminal activities involved in the collision: impaired driving, stolen vehicle, assault, collisions involving the transporting of dangerous goods. There you go. I don't think I often say that. The collision involves a person who is uninsured or suspended, but not having your insurance card with you doesn't necessarily mean that it can't be referred to the CRC. The collision involves damage to private or municipal or highway property. So I used to go to people would take out the power boxes all the time, or they hit a pole or a light or a tree or whatnot. And it's far more interesting when I read while that video is playing in the background, I think. Okay. Okay, I'll turn that off. And then what else we got? The collision involves cyclists or pedestrians who have been injured. However, the cyclist or pedestrian doesn't remain at the scene. They can report to the collision reporting center afterwards. Like if a pedestrian or cyclist wants it to be reported, they got to stay there. Unless, of course, one of the other triggers occurred. And then collisions that occur between midnight and 8 a.m. and where the vehicle is not drivable. Generally speaking, the midnight and 8 a.m. thing tends to come into play because it's usually an impaired driver. And those are the ones. So it didn't fall into any of those categories. It would be something that doesn't qualify for attending. And of course, if a police officer comes by, they could do it. Very often I would get a call and it's like, oh, it's an elderly person or it's someone who's not from Canada. They're leaving tomorrow. And I would just do the report. We'd do it. Why not? I can do it. But we're so short-staffed now. We can't do the things that we used to do. Let's see here. Oh, Honda Mig says, then there are the people that put their plates on the dashboard, not realizing how dangerous it is. Dangerous. I said danger is. I'm making up new words. Yeah, it's super dangerous to put your license plate on your dashboard. It becomes a projectile within your vehicle. And yet people do it all the time. And because it doesn't look cool on the front license plate holder. They don't want the license plate holder to make holes in their dashboard. It's such a bad thing. I get it. It doesn't look great. Get a license plate adapter, a tow hook adapter. That's the way. Christoph, thanks for the gift. And for some reason, talking about license plates just triggered a Canada's federal election warning on my stream. Why? I don't know. But hey, the AI decided we were talking about stuff. Nicholas goes on with a story saying that it was heartbreaking because those parents couldn't really do anything about it. Now their son is gone. He said dead, but no. He says, "My God, I'm being so dark tonight." Usually he's the source of all the funny stuff, but tonight he's talking about movies where he shot dead people. Where is Logan and where is the bald conspiracy Santa? Those guys usually join you right about now. I checked the Orange Hub and Logan is nowhere on the feed. So Logan is on vacation. That's where Logan is. He'll be back hopefully Tuesday for another live stream with him. And here's I'm sorry. Hold on a second. Ian just jumped in on TikTok and says, waste of taxpayer money. I'm assuming that's how he talks because he's whining. He's whining. He says, waste of taxpayer money. Where? Please point me to the waste of taxpayer money, you goom. The thing is, this is paid for by me. There's nobody here. I left the police service like 6 months ago. Go away if you don't like this. Oh my goodness. I love when people complain when they have no idea what they're talking about. Let's see here. Okay, Mark says, oh, there we go. We'll do this. Yeah. Oh, and Brian, who was with me on Tuesday, is at a special event tonight about fast cars special event. So next week, at very least, we'll have Logan back, and we'll see what's happening. Sorry, my laughing at the Ian, well, it distracted me. Okay. So Mark Sears. Oh, here we go. Oh, I skipped a whole bunch of stuff. My apologies. Let me go back. Ethan has never had a dash cam. You really should get one. And if I get one, maybe we'll hook you up. We talked about this. We talked about that. Okay, Ryan asked twice. Christoph says, I'm currently going. We talked about that. Boy, Ryan asked that 3 times. Ethan says, so chases shouldn't happen. Chases are dangerous, and they have to be weighed to make sure that they're reasonable. So public safety is paramount. So police chases only happen for major things. We don't chase for minor things, sadly. I wish more bad guys got caught because we were allowed to do things like the States does. I honestly would love to see, coppers be legal and justified in running someone off the road, because I think that people who run from the police need that kind of, solution to the problem. They need to be arrested. They need to be prosecuted. We don't live in that world. Just because I, wish we did doesn't mean that it's appropriate. But I can't stand when bad guys get away. And if we can't chase them all the time, sometimes they get away and they have no respect for police or the law. So, things happen. But in the States, they don't happen the same way. Mind you, people run and it's a different ending. That story has a different ending. Okay. But yeah, we try and avoid those things. So what we do is we get your license plate, your description before we even light you up. We try and know exactly what's going on. By light you up, I mean turn the lights on. I don't mean that other kind of light you up. We got a dad joke from Bernhard for later. Manraj says, last Friday, drunk crashed into my car, was on permit later, what is this? Drunk crashed into my car, was on permit later, was crying in front of the officer for mercy. Everyone, when they get caught, wants a deal, wants mercy. They make the decision as a tough guy when they drive like idiots. In this case, a drunk idiot. But then they want, special treatment later. No. Richard says, good evening, Sean. Good evening, Richard. Hope you're doing well. Richard is in, are you in Sault Ste. Marie? No, you are in, come on. You're further north. No, where are you? It's bugging me. Not Temiskaming. Tobermory now. Where are you? Richard, if you're still watching, will update me momentarily. Can bylaw officers detain you or pull you over? That's from Stranger. Bylaw officers, in some situations, have more authority, like for entry into to premises, than police officers do, because they have different reasons to inspect businesses and things. That they have authorities that are different. But detain you? Generally, no. Thunder Bay, thank you very much. Richard is from Thunder Bay. My bad. I should remember that. So yeah, they don't pull you. Bylaw officers don't pull people over. They don't have lights and sirens. They're not police officers. They don't have that authority. Security guards can't pull you over either. Now, I'm not saying bylaw officers and security guards are on the same thing. It just happen to be one of the other things that you can't do. Yellow Monkey says, can an off-duty officer have the authority to pull someone over and chase and give tickets? An off-duty officer is a police officer, just as any other police officer on duty or on. We're 24/7 police officers until they leave, like I did, or quit, retire, any of those things. But they have authority as a police officer, so they can arrest you, pull you over, chase. Unlikely they're going to chase in their personal vehicle. Give tickets. Chances are they're not carrying a ticket book, but they could follow up afterwards and they have 6 months to lay a charge. They're still a witness. There was a news story a while back where a guy was doing something unlawful, but he pulls up beside him, says, I'm an RCMP or whatever officer. I'm going to come to your house and serve you a ticket just so you know. And that made the news everywhere. And it was perfectly legitimate to do that. The guy was trying to say that, it was not appropriate. It was appropriate. Amanda, thank you. I look forward to seeing that video because they said they will send it to me. But if no cops, so follow up to this whole thing. But if no cops, how can they know if they're intoxicated? It would be based on the other party involved. So if you were involved in a collision and you thought the other person was involved, was impaired, you would be calling police saying, this person's drunk. And then police would attend. She totaled a parked car and smoked a tree on someone's yard. And fire showed up, so they didn't think she was impaired. Otherwise, they would have contacted police. Ovid, what's going on? Mirage Verk joined on this side. Bike Heart, what's going on? It's TPS Bike Heart. You're watching on the magic of Instagram. One of the few people who uses Instagram. Why aren't you on TikTok? On the Mig says, you should check out Georgia State Police video. They're insane and don't care. They will stop you by any means. I like Georgia. I rode in Georgia. I did ride-alongs in Georgia. Georgia's a cool place. Do cops bother with their, what is this? Do cops bother with their time for smoking in a commercial truck or enforce it? Depends on the cop. Couldn't tell you. I've never done it, but I know that it's against the law. So yeah, it's been done. People have been charged. Usually that's that's for someone who's being a jerk. Usually, I would say most of the time people don't bother with it. But one where I would enforce it is if you're smoking with kids in the car, because if there's someone under the age of 16, that's an absolute worthy ticket to charge. Okay. Christoph sent a gift. Thank you very much. We've got Mark Sear says heavy object. Oh, Mark Sear says, well, the fire department does check for that, do they? Yes, they were talking about the impaired operation or the impaired person. Yes, if that's what you're talking about. I'm a little disjointed with my comments across multiple platforms. Heavy object in the back seat is definitely a concern. License plate in the front, bad idea. And an absolute situation. I was just doing in the video for chapter 2, or the first section of chapter 2 for the me learning or reading the driver's handbook to you. I talk about the fact that just having books or a laptop bag could really do damage in the event of a collision. A buddy of mine rolled his car many years ago, and when it rolled, not only was the entire car coated in Diet Coke. I don't know how it worked, but it was like the entire car. But all this stuff was tossed around like crazy. So it's a thing. Evan, thank you very much for the gifts. Much appreciated. Let's see here. O-Town Boy says, were you ever involved in the radio biz? You certainly have the right personality and voice. Thanks very much. I've never been professionally in radio. I tend to guest on the Jerry Agar show. And actually I've been on a number of shows on the News Talk 1010 radio station. I've also been on AM 640, Zoomer radio, but never as a host. Only actually I've guest hosted. That's not true. I have guest hosted, and I've always thought about being on the radio. Punch Andrews, who is long left this world, was a friend of mine. He used to teach radio broadcasting. He was the host of my Cops for Cancer event when I used to chair the Cops for Cancer stuff in Toronto. And, we always talked about it, but I never got into it. And it's something that I would probably, in fact, people thought I was leaving the police to become a radio guy. But alas, I was not doing that. I did come in third across in a worldwide competition for radio talent one year. I think it was 2023. I came in third place. I think I should have won. Just saying, a little sore about that. I don't think the person who won should have won. Should have been me. But I think everyone thought that. Like everyone who competed thought they were the ones that should have won. Just saying. Now let's see here. I have done some voice work. Oh, I gotta finish a project for a animated movie, actually, animated film. You just reminded me. Thank you. I owe some updated files. Mark Sear says, I confused you. Commented on stuff after you were talking about it. Yes, a little bit, kind of, sort of. It's okay. And Raj says his work permit is expiring. What? Hold on. I see. So follow up on the guy who was drunk. He crashed into his car. So Minraj's car was the one that was crashed into. Was on permit. Later was crying in front of the officer for mercy. The follow up on that, his work permit was expiring in 3 months, and Minraj is proud that I was able to take one drunk off the road. He cannot get his work permit renewed because of the DUI. He says, I heard it's more safe to not have front plate at all rather than plate on dashboard, as it can cause problem in case of collision. A front license plate is not a problem in a collision. Actually, it's great evidence to leave at a scene. When people hit other people and then drive away, usually the license plate sits on the road as evidence so we can find them later. All right. Nicholas Rizzi says, okay, let's say I'm a drug smuggler. I'll stop there because he's got a whole thing. What does he say here? And I make a lot of money, but with the thousands of dollars I make, I use it for good. No, I'm not going down this road. He wants to know if he breaks the law for a good reason, he helps people and gives to the poor like Robin Hood. Is it really okay? What else is there? No, you can't break the law for good reasons. Not supposed to do that. Certainly not as a drug dealer, because you're not doing enough good to compensate for the horrible stuff you'd be doing. Oh, he loves it. He asks the craziest questions. Let's see here. Brian Windsor says, just bought a new truck. Why was a yellow sticker for 2025 put on the plate? Thought they were done. What kind of truck did you get? If it's a commercial motor vehicle, they need stickers. If it is are you talking about the device, the one for inspection? If it's over a certain rated weight, if you plated it with a high tow or carry capacity, gross vehicle weight, it would still require one. So you may have a big boy truck, and that would it still need one. Evan says, thanks for your service. Thank you very much, Evan. I thank you for the thank you and again for the gifts. Christoph says, do you believe in harsher penalties for crimes? I feel there isn't much in the way of deterrence. I got to tell you that we have great minimum sentences that are never, ever, ever implemented, or very rarely. Like, I'll give you a great example. Somebody assaults a police officer. There is a specific charge for assault peace officer. Do you think they get convicted for assault peace officer? What will happen? The very, very first thing that a lawyer will do is they will try and plead down to the lesser included assault, simple assault, not the assault peace officer. Why do you think they do that? They don't want their clients to be unfairly, what is the word I'm looking for? Treated. There's actually another word I was looking for, but we'll go with treated. They don't want their client to be known as someone who assaults police, because when police look it up and say, oh, he was convicted for assault police, we have to be more careful, which might make them, be a little more guarded, maybe a little less flexible the next time their career criminal does something stupid. So they're going to get a simple assault, so nobody is the why. It's so bad. And I get lawyers have to defend their clients, but they're not helping society when they do that. It's just not a good thing. Okay. So yes, I believe in harsher penalties. Actually giving the minimum offenses or convictions for the offenses that people that have, for people that commit them, that break the ones that have minimums, they should actually get them like 5 years, I think it is, for a gun-related crime. They don't seem to get them. They don't put people away for long enough. So yeah, I got an issue with that. I think every cop does, even ex-cops. Sean ZR2. I used to have a ZR2. I had a Jimmy ZR2 a long time ago. Hi, Sean. My name is Sean, and I put police lights on the front of. Here it is. So let's go back again. Hi, Sean. My name is Sean. I put police lights in the front grill just asking because Amazon sells. Well, can I instead of and I? You cannot have police lights that flash red on a vehicle. You can't do that. Amazon sells a lot of stuff that aren't legal. Canadian Tire sells a lot of stuff you can't use on the road. Just because it's sold doesn't make it a good idea. I just got flashing ambers for the back of my truck because I stop at collision scenes to help people if I happen to be in the area and I want, they need help, I stop and I want better visibility. So I got arrow stick flashing lights, cheapies from Amazon, and they're going in the back of my windows because I want to be able to be safe when I'm pulling over to help somebody. Yeah, it's a thing. So ambers in the back, no problem. Reds in the front, totally illegal. User lots of numbers says, can I carry a BB gun with me in my car? For what? Like if you put it in the trunk of your car because you're transporting it somewhere to go shoot your BB gun? Yeah, it's not illegal to transport. You're carrying it in the front of the car? Well, if you get pulled over, you're probably going to get arrested at gunpoint until they can confirm that your BB gun isn't a firearm. If anyone sees it, you're brandishing it because as long as someone sees it and believes that it is a firearm, it is a firearm. It's treated as a firearm, not a BB gun. So bad things would happen, potentially. Brian Windsor says, he was responding to Mark Sears, just an F-150. Oh, but an F-150 could be rated for higher capacity based on towing requirements or something. Let's see here. Brian Windsor says, so do we now just remove all your stickers from our plates since scanning is happening? If you don't have, like I have it, I've got 2022 stickers or something on my truck. I never took them off. They're not required. You don't have to remove them. It may help you if you're traveling into the States, but I think most people have figured out that we don't have stickers anymore. So you can remove them unless you're part of the group of people with commercial plates that need to keep them on because you have to, you got to have them for some people. We're over the hour. I got to wrap this up. I got to go watch The Pit. Do you know what The Pit is? I talked about it at the beginning of the show. The Pit is a new drama. I think it's a new drama. It's new to me. It's the first time I've seen it. Mind you, 14 episodes have already aired. It is awesome. It is some gruesome scenes because it's an emergency room drama. But I love procedurals. I love that there's like 15 different cases, and this is like 24. Do you remember 24? Are you old enough to know what 24 is? 24 was a great show with a great ringtone. And I watched that, and the whole thing is the season is 24 hours, and each hour plays through that's the same thing happening in The Pit. I'm only 2 hours in, but it's like 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, and every episode is 1 hour. So you're watching a full shift. I guess it's 14 hours. I guess we're going to see the entire cast change after 8 or 10 hours. I'm guessing. What we got here? I have 5% tint. Over 5% tint, is that legal? You have double 5%? You mean you have 95% tint, which means 95% tint blockage, and then you put additional 95% tint, so you have a fraction of, it's not legal anywhere. You can put it on the back windows. You can't have it on the windshield. Obviously, you can't have anything on the windshield in Ontario. The windows left and right of the driver cannot have more than 30% blockage. You can't do 30 plus 30 either. 30% blockage would be unsafe motor vehicle. You'd have your license plates pulled. You would lose your license plates and have an unsafe vehicle charge. If you peeled it off right then and there, you might be able to save yourself from being towed and your plates from going, but you'd still be charged for unsafe motor vehicle. Here's the deal. Even if you have a legal 30% tint, you might get charged for obscuring the interior of a motor vehicle by way of color coding or reflective tint, and it's illegal. You have to be able to see it. So if it's dark out and the tint that you can see during the day is clear, but at night is really dark, you're obscuring the interior of the motor vehicle, and you get a charge. In Alberta, you can't have anything on you, like no tint at all in the windows left and right of the driver. Eric Montreal says, are decals in our back window legal, or percentage needs to be free? Rear window, as long as you have the left and right mirrors available for view to the rear in Ontario, would be legal. In Montreal, I don't know if they've got something specifying otherwise, but for the province of Ontario, and I would assume that majority of jurisdictions would match, you can have anything. You don't even have to have a back window. Think about a panel van, but you have to have those mirrors that provide, view to the rear. Let's see here. Mark Sears says, I have a 250 commercial. It auto renews. My heavy diesel needs stickers. Interesting. I don't know. I don't even know if a 250 meets the weight required, but heavy diesel. Now I want to buy a new truck. Okay. Brian Williams says exactly why I'm asking heading to the U.S. My suggestion, this was more or less in the beginning. If you're going to the States, I would totally remove it to avoid especially if you're going deep into the States, I would remove it because, the border states, they get it, they know it, but the ones down south may not. They're like, here's someone who hasn't renewed in 4 years, 8 years, 12, I don't know, whatever. We got here. Boom, boom, boom. Dre Studios, what's going on? We've got Darren. I've seen enforcement officers giving out warnings and tickets at CMV blitzes back in my OPP days. Oh yeah, we that absolutely. Like enforcement officers for MTO, they give them out too. For smoking in the workplace. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never been involved with that, but here, Danny Ogonza, PO, former PO. Sean, love what you do. Thank you very much, Danny. I appreciate it. Send me a DM. I remember, I'll follow you back. Megan Dav says, hello, Sean. I chose not to tint my front side windows because I found out it was illegal in Alberta, where I'm hoping to move to. Good call, Megan. Yes. And we have an Alberta copper. Technically he's not a police officer. He's a peace officer, and there's a difference in the designation. They do things a little differently there. He does municipal enforcement of traffic laws in Alberta, in Brooks, Alberta specifically. So Tuesday of next week, he should be back here, Megan. So if you want to get the perspective of a enforcement officer, I gotta make sure I address him properly. He's a sergeant. You should ask him questions to learn all the stuff you need to know. But good call for not tinting those windows. Let's see here. Ian, who still doesn't understand English, says, this is DEI work, not fit for cop work. What are you talking about? I'm not a cop anymore. Go away. Let's see here. Joshua Maloney says, yeah, it's new. It's made by crew from ER. Oh, the show, The Pit. It is new. Okay. And I know that one of the doctors, or the guy who plays the doctor, used to be on ER. I never watched ER. But my wife made an interesting comment that this is about the medical team and not about the patients, which is apparently what ER was before. Daniel wants to know if mini bikes are legal to ride. And if you're asking about legal to ride on private property, yes, if you're talking about legal to ride on the road or the side of the road or on somebody else's property, the answer is no. Mini bikes are a private property kind of situation. Jen says, hi, friend. And friend Jen, hello. How you doing? Monkey Flying 2024 says, I wasn't able to blow into a breathalyzer due to a respiratory condition. I didn't refuse. What are my thoughts on this? If you had a legitimate medical condition, then they wouldn't be able to proceed on charges for refuse. The problem is everyone seems to have a medical condition. When people were getting arrested, they would all claim to be diabetic, all of them, because that meant they would get 2 sandwiches in jail. We called them liabetics. They were generally people who had been in jail before, and we had lots of notes about them. We could verify it, but until we verified it, they did get an extra sandwich because health conditions are a big thing. If you were truly unable to, as things escalated, there'd be a way to prove that. I would get a doctor's letter to have with you, just because it's a good idea to make your life simpler. And you can say, listen, I'm totally willing to give up a blood sample. Like, what do you do? It's an unfortunate situation. I hope that went smoothly for you. I can imagine it may have been prickly and uncomfortable, because most people aren't prepared to deal with a legitimate health concern like that. Because many people go, I can't blow. Like they fake it. So if you were legitimately trying it, coughing and hacking and doing and giving your best effort, most qualified technicians are going to get it. Christoph says, can you be ticketed for distracted driving if someone reports you but a cop doesn't see you? Generally speaking, no. A report will generate a paper trail, a history. So the next person to pull you over for the same thing would say, on January 22nd of last year, somebody reported you for doing the same thing. Apparently you have a history of doing this. Even though they can't lay a charge for that, they could look at it as history, saying, yeah, they've done it before. And most people have done it before. Okay. Oh, I got to tell you about this before I forget. Trafficcop.ca, if you go to the website, you can go and click a link that'll take you to the Safe Roads Challenge. It's actually the Great Canadian Driving Games, because if you would like to win $100,000, that is the way to do it. Go and check it out. It is an app you install on your phone. It tracks your movements. It does not report to insurance. It does not report to police. It is something that simply gives you feedback on the driving you're doing, your acceleration, deceleration, your cornering, your stability, how many times you touch your phone, how many times you exceed the posted speed limit. It just tells you. And that helps you be a safer driver. And where, oh, where could you find an app that rewards you for being safe and gives you a potential, a chance, a maybe of winning $100 grand? Now, they run this outside of the study that's going on. The study for the Great Canadian Driving Games is specifically being performed by a group called TURF. TURF is the Traffic Injury Research Foundation, and they get that information to help predict and understand what's going on for drivers of all different age groups. However, even when this study ends on September 14th and the game is done and they give out this money, there is also an opportunity to continue playing this game for other prizes. They give away like free driving for a year. That's the thing they do every year. It's pretty awesome. They do it across the States, across Canada, and even in the UK. This app is existing and doing cool things. So if you'd like to try it, I'm addicted to it. Like, I have never been such a smooth driver because I very often, I was a cop or was a cop. And as a result, I drive a little more aggressively. I don't speed, but I drive a little more aggressively. I have toned it down because it was not giving me full points, and I want those full points. It's a game I'm playing against myself. There's nobody else. I don't care. It would be wonderful to win $100,000, but the goal is to beat my score from yesterday. So if you're someone who likes games, and this might work for you to really motivate you to just be better. Jared wants to know if there's a legal way to have a windshield tinted, and the answer is not in Ontario. There's no medical exemption for the laws. You cannot have a legally tinted windshield, and if you have a tinted windshield, you can lose your license plates and be charged for unsafe motor vehicle. Meaning you'd also lose your plates and have to get another safety done and then pay a reinstatement fee to get new plates. Don't tint your windshield. Wear sunglasses. Way better. Don't know why people tint their windshield. Is it just, I don't even know why. I got nothing. So you can pick your nose and not get caught. Oh, we've got a dad joke. Dad joke flagged for later. Chase is watching from Memphis, Tennessee. They must fund their police very well here. Not exaggerating when I tell you that every second exit, there was an officer doing a speed enforcement. That's amazing. And I got to tell you something that I forgot about until you mentioned that very comment. I was driving north to go to King of the North auction today to pick up the stuff that I bought. And on my way there, I saw a vehicle stop. And it was a senior officer conducting a vehicle stop. I was so impressed. A white shirt was stopping a car for a traffic violation. I will give credit where credit is due. That senior officer, now it may be staff sergeant above, so it may truly not be senior, but I think white shirts are seniors for them. Kudos to you, man. I'm so impressed because usually the brass don't do that kind of thing. So I'm thoroughly impressed. Mind you, Chief of Police Myron Demke, Toronto Police Chief, has told people to be pulled over. Previous chiefs have told their driver, because they have a driver in their blacked out car, they will pull over people for doing stuff and things that are dangerous. And I love it. If the chief is pulling you over, you done something wrong, friend. Yes, sir. But this was awesome. I was really impressed. Do I sound impressed? Because I was impressed. Okay. Eric Montreal says, speaking of tint, motorcycle visor on helmet tinted or mirrored, is that a problem legally? I grew up thinking it was. I have not found anything to support that. It is not regulated. The windshield is not regulated on a motorcycle nor on a visor. However, if you were not able to see, like you had a dark visor down in the snow, in the rain, or in a fog, or if you had no visibility, careless driving could be an appropriate charge because there's no way you can see. But wearing sunglasses wouldn't be it's just don't. If you're gonna I like the ones that are dual. Like I had a clear visor. I have it close by. I have a helmet. I have the helmet that I was in a crash with, and you can pull down like the fighter pilot lenses from behind, but you have a clear visor that goes up and down. And I think that's a great way to do it. It depends on what kind of helmet you have. What is this? Why did cops spend so much time pulling over modified cars instead of arresting real criminals? Alex wants to know. Well, if you're breaking the law with vehicles that aren't legal for the road, you're breaking the law, and you are the person that should be pulled over and prosecuted. You're talking about traffic cops doing traffic enforcement as opposed to divisional cops who are focused on 911 calls. They're a different department, different people, but you're still violating. Like, I'm only breaking little laws, not big laws. Why are you bothering with me? Like, you're giving them a reason to pull you over. You're advertising, and I got to tell you, bad guys drive cars, and oddly enough, some of them modify their cars, so it's a ticket to talk to you. You're a heat score, man. You don't want to get the attention. Don't modify your car. What's on your head? It's a hat. What do you think is on my head? That's Kay asking the question. Does it not look like a baseball cap to you? Do those not look like headphones to you? That's what's on my head. And my logo. Well, it's voiceover cop with a mini me on my hat. I'm a little congested. Okay. As I hear my nose. Okay. Daniel says, what are the rules for electric scooters and helmets? You gotta wear one. A bicycle or motorcycle helmet would suffice. But electric scooters require them. E-unicycles are prohibited in Ontario, except on private property. And then when it comes to e-kick scooters in the city of Toronto, they're prohibited altogether, even though people ride them every day. Joshua Maloney wants to know if you need a license to drive an ATV on your own property. The answer is you do not. You need a license to drive it across a road. You need a license to take it on a trail, but you don't need it for your private property. Monkey Flying says, I consented to blood sample. I was sober, no alcohol. Awesome. Monkey Flying 2024, you did exactly what I suggested you could do. And they must have really thought there was something to find if they actually took a blood sample. Aiden says, how do you report someone for seeing someone drinking and driving? Do you follow the car while on the call? You would get their information, you would call, and then you would take direction from the dispatcher. So if the dispatcher said, thanks very much, units are on the way, what's the last known direction? We know where he's going. Chances are he's going home, and that's it. If they tell you don't follow, don't follow. Tim, thank you for the follow. What's the fine for a ticket on the front windshield? You're looking at a $300+ fine for unsafe motor vehicle, and you're losing your license plates, which means you need a car safety, you need new plates, and you are not having fun. Yeah, you're also getting towed because you can't drive it home. What about other windows thoughts? What's the legal limit? Spenny, we talked about it earlier. You may not have been around for that, but the deal is that other windows would be $110 for obscuring the interior of a motor vehicle, and if it's too dark, it would be the same thing, the big ticket for unsafe motor vehicle. Megan says, do you have any pets? And do you have any comments on safe traveling with pets? It blows my mind when I see people driving with their dog on their lap while driving. Thank you, Megan, for bringing that up. If you're driving with your dog on your lap, it's careless driving, or drive while crowded, which are two different charges, both appropriate. It's not only horribly dangerous for your pet, it is not paying attention to the road because you're focused on Fluffy. Now, Fluffy, in the event of a collision, will get squished, and parts of Fluffy will become parts of you as you get, compressed by the airbag deploying at 200 miles per hour. So it is horribly unsafe. A pet should be tethered to the back seat or crated in the back seat, ideally. Worst case scenario, you could have them in the front, but they need to be secured. And why do you have to tether them or crate them? Because in the event of a collision, and collisions do happen, that Fluffy, a friend of yours that you claim to care about, will be injured, or if the window is broken, may not have been injured, but may jump out, freak out, and run into traffic where they are then later injured, or bite someone when they're scared and then injure somebody else. And it's just a bad scenario. It is 23 minutes after the hour, which means I'm 23 minutes later than I thought it would be. I've been going for like 2 and 3 hours, and I said to myself, today I'm going to stop at an hour. And I lied to myself because it's 24 minutes now, and I'm still talking. So we're going to go for 6 more minutes, and then I'm going to wrap it up because I'm going to go watch The Pit. Raza, thanks for the follow. How do you report? Oh, we saw that. Oh, by the way, we were talking about tints, rear window tints. You can go as dark as you want in Ontario. Different jurisdictions have different rules. Ampersand? I think it's an ampersand. I can't see the far away. It's so tiny. Maybe it's, it's a bullet. It's just a bullet. And by bullet, I mean the dot. I hate being pulled over for speeding when slow and unconfident drivers are much more dangerous. if you are speeding, you are breaking the law. You are the reason that the slower drivers are dangerous. You can't actually see me. I'm dangerous. Yeah. This vertical view doesn't allow me to express myself appropriately. So the deal is that you shouldn't be speeding. You should slow down and stop being a bully on the road to the other people. The other people don't have to drive the speed limit. That's a maximum, not a minimum. So you are the problem. I hate to tell you that and explain it to you. You're the problem. No one should speed. I think we should have automated enforcement on every single road. And you should be funding all the kids' programs. We should reduce taxes and charge all the speeders to fund all those programs. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I said it. It's true. What are the rules behind having a license plate on a car? What are the rules behind having a license plate on a car? Yeah, got to have it. It's got to be current. Got to be insured. What else do you want to know? They have to be displayed appropriately. Front of the car, rear of the car, rear plate has to be illuminated. Pretty simple. Dev, how does one go about hosting a car meet, not a rally, just a friend meeting up with who drive the same car? Find out from the jurisdiction that you're going to be in. If you're going to find out, like, talk to Toronto. If you're in Toronto, talk to the local division and say, hey, this is what we're doing. We're a bunch of nice guys. We have the same car. We're not doing burnouts. The problem is that when you have a bunch of cars, other car people show up and then they make a mess out of it. They screw up your fun time. So what I would suggest doing is this. I would, one, talk to the police, and two, invite them to come out to the show. You're going to hang out with the guys from 9 to 10 o'clock, 9 to 1 o'clock, 8 to 9 o'clock, whatever time it is. Tell them you're doing it, invite them to be part of it, and they will likely show up and just say, hey, what's up? Now, if those guys show up, and they're usually great guys, because, coppers are great guys, got to tell you, and gals and people and things and whatever you want to be. But you invite them. The local coppers will probably come out, or traffic guys will come out and check out what you're doing. And if you're doing nothing wrong, they're just going to go have a coffee, and then hopefully they'll prevent the bad operators, the bad actors from making a mess. Now, in York Region, definitely talk to them, because in York Region, those events are banned. Like, it's a $10,000 fine, I believe, for organizing one. I think it's $100 or $200 fine for attending one. But if it's a legitimate thing, find out what they're interested in. Find out what they're not interested in pursuing. Find out what you're allowed to do. And I don't know what the York Region one is. Otherwise, I'd give you more information. But York Region, another great police service, great people, community oriented. Just talk to them. What do we have here? Mirage Verk says, see you tomorrow. Have a great night. Yes, tomorrow, 10 a.m. tomorrow. I'll be back here doing this all again. Marie Ange says, this is smart. Sometimes it's smart. Sometimes it's silly. Sometimes we just talk about food. Every day is, every day is like a box of chocolates and never know what you're going to get. No, he says, life is like a box of chocolates. I'm not doing a very good impersonation. I do love that movie, though. Is anything going to happen for rolling stops? Rolling stops are a problem. I used to do stop sign enforcement all the time. I'd sit back a couple of driveways away from the stop sign, and I can't tell you how stupid those who run stop signs look, because they're like, I've seen people pass other vehicles that are stopping at a stop sign to run the stop sign. I love stop sign enforcement. If I could make that person, like, we should make it that you run a stop sign, we take your car and crumple it up into a little ball and then recycle it. It's such a dangerous practice. And if you're going to start breaking those laws, you start breaking bigger laws. What a ridiculous thing to do. But people do it all the time. Like, I'm going to be doing some big projects we've been talking about for a little while. A lot of street photography or videography is going to be starting to happen with me out there, talking to people about the laws that impact them, getting out there to record intersections. We're going to do some photography, videography. We're going to record people doing stupid stuff. Austin Harder 815 says, power tripping over there? No, I'm telling you what I think is appropriate. I got no power at all. I'm not a police officer anymore. But I absolutely believe that more enforcement is necessary, because dumb-dumbs keep breaking the law and they don't think that they are responsible to follow any laws. Christoph, by the way, thank you for the multicolored bagel or donut gift. That was very kind of you. But rolling stops is such a huge problem. People stop is stop. There's no anything other than stop. Rolling stop is not stopping. Now, I got to tell you that I didn't actually hammer people for every stop sign offense. If you made a good effort to stop, even though it didn't meet the the definition of a stop. If you saw me, even if you stopped in the middle of the intersection, I'd probably let you go. But I saw people doing 15 kilometers an hour, not even touching their brakes, going through stop signs. Like they just coasted through. No, those people needed tickets, and I gave them to them. And I had great evidence, great video evidence. The best video evidence. I can't say your name. I can't figure it out. I got a ticket for using my phone while stuck in traffic. I don't want to lose the 3 points. What do I do? Well, you did it. You can go to court. You can offer to plead guilty to a lesser and included offense. There isn't a lesser and included offense, but they have been reducing them. I've heard of people pleading guilty to something called start from stop, not in safety, fewer points, if there are any points. I don't know. I could probably look that up for you. Let me see. Start from stop. Let's see. As we say goodbye in just a moment. Here we go. Highway Traffic Act. Start from stop. It's a $110 ticket. 2 points. So you're still going to get points, but it'll be a lesser offense. So instead of $615, it would go down to $110 and 2 points. Now the points, people get really panicky about points. Points are not that big a deal. The insurance don't care about points. They care about convictions. And obviously cell phone is a big one. Distracted driving is as serious as impaired driving. But points are for the ministry to track your license. Now, if you have a learner's permit, 4 points will get you suspended for 30 days. So you don't want 4 points. Just saying. I'm wrapping things up. What do you think? What does a green light allow firefighters to do? A green light? Oh, a green light for volunteer firefighters? Alex, it allows nothing. It is a courtesy light. When you see a flashing green light in your rearview mirror, it asks you to please move out of the way so people can save the day in their own special way. It is for volunteer firefighters. They are going to an active call. They cannot speed. They can only ask you politely to move out of the way, which you should absolutely do it. 519 Alex 08 wants me to talk about weapon of opportunity. For another day, I would happily talk about weapon of opportunity. It's a great piece of the criminal code explaining what things can be like. Okay, quick explanation. You don't have a weapon, but you have a pen, and you use this pen to defend yourself by poking someone in the nose with it. And I mean that gently. There's poke. I'm giving you an example because I don't want anything to stop the live stream before I press stop. But that's a weapon of opportunity. Anything you use as a weapon is a weapon of opportunity when you're in a position that you have nothing else. You take a shoelace out and smack somebody with it. It's a weapon of opportunity. If you hurt somebody with it, it is that. Obviously, there's other more involved discussions. I have a transfer permit from Alberta. Can I drive with that permit all the way to Ontario? I don't know. I assume so. You have the permit. It's good for a certain number of days until you get to your destination to register it. But you can't drive in Ontario. Once you arrive here, you have a very short window of opportunity to register from that transfer permit. If you're a delivery driver making multiple stops, you need to have your seatbelt on. If you are a delivery driver actively engaged in the act of delivery, not exceeding 40 kilometers an hour, and you're actually getting in and out of your vehicle, then no, you do not in Ontario need to wear your seatbelt. But as soon as you exceed 40K or you're not actively engaged, like if you're going to every house, every other house, every third house, but if you're going to one house and the next one's like 4 blocks away, you should be wearing a seatbelt. What is the charge for having 4 to 5 point harness in your vehicle? Having it in there is no big deal. Taking out your OEM seatbelt, that is the problem. You can't take that out. You still have to wear your OEM seatbelt on top of your 4 or 5 point harness because that 4 or 5 point harness is not a valid seatbelt for the purposes of driving on the highway. It may be good for the track, but it's not okay for the road. I think the 15 minutes of fame is over. Dave, do you think so? Okay. Thanks for coming out. El Ski says, they followed me. Thank you very much. And Justin Nakatsuka says, people who don't stop for school buses are really terrible. They're of the worst in the world. Yeah, you're absolutely. I was just talking to a copper friend of mine who just transferred back from Ottawa. Shout out to you. He was asking about, whether both sides of traffic have to stop when the lights come out. I wonder what conditions, just, confirming things. So happy to have him back in Toronto and just stuff, people who don't stop. It happens constantly. Half the people aren't even paying attention. They're too busy on their phone. Is it true or myth that police officers eat donuts? So police officers are people eat donuts. Is it the number one thing? No. I prefer chicken wings. Signal before applying your brakes, people. Signal before applying? What do you mean signal? Like left or right? What's the scenario? Does a collision where both parties are responsible 50-50 affect your policing application? No. Collisions happen. If you were charged for careless driving, it could. Is it illegal to have a harness in your vehicle? What kind of harness? Boom. Why does my local detachment only have 100K Tahoes and Suburbans? If you're talking about detachment of the OPP, their Tahoes aren't 100K. They have base model Tahoes. Base model, absolutely base model. Austin says, and they cry on the radio station that there's funding issues. They have to have wheels. They have to be capable of going places. They have functions that need to be performed by those vehicles. Austin, the funding is different. They have fleet and they have people. They don't have enough fleet or people to hire a sufficient number of police officers to take care of the needs of the people they're policing. So yeah, they don't have enough money. Would you like them to be in Pintos? What do you want them to be? On roller skates? Get real. Everything's expensive. $100,000 is not a lot of money anymore. I hate to break it to you. There's something called inflation. The dollar's worth crap. Everything looks like a big number. But a McDonald's combo is $15. When I was growing up, it was like $7 or $8. It's the same value. The money's just not worth anything. $100,000 is a $50,000 car if you just adjust it for inflation. But you'd need to know about things like that. Go look it up. Famous says, can someone operate a commercial vehicle with a G2 license? I see no reason why not. Okay. We are finishing with Megan, who says, that reminds me that I saw someone get into the right lane from the left lane and make a left-hand turn from the right side. What? Oh, that sounds terrible. Okay. I got, I think 2 dad jokes and we're closing the show because I got to go. Bernhard had a dad joke, and I don't know if this is going to hit. What did the drummer name her 2 daughters? Yes, it's going to hit. What did the drummer name her 2 daughters? Anna 1, Anna 2, and 2 weeks and 5 to go. That's funny. Anna 1, Anna 2, and yeah. Oh, and sorry, that wasn't the joke. I combined it thinking it was a joke. So the Anna 1, Anna 2 was absolutely, but 2 weeks in 5 to go is how he's doing with his progress. He is becoming you were a cadet in training, learning stuff and things. And Joshua Maloney really liked that joke. So Anna 1, Anna 2, yeah, very cool. I totally screwed it up with the whole 2 weeks to go thing. Let's see here. Dad joke. I don't know if this is dad. This is a Rizzy joke. Dad joke. Former President George Bush walks into a bar and sees Moses from the Bible. Bush says hi to Moses, but Moses ignores him. Bush asks the bartender why Moses was ignoring him. Bartender says to Bush, the last time Moses talked to a bush, he spent 40 years in the desert. It's pretty good. It's not bad at all. I can't complain. All right. With that, we're saying good night. Goodbye. See you tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern time. I will be back. I will probably be doing vertical again to see how that works because I'm curious. Is it more positive to be full screen? Does it work better for you? Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. We'll know tomorrow. All right. Drive safe, drive sober. And I just missed a comment. Oh. Nicholas says, so when you were a cop and I was pulled over by you, if I had chicken wings and I gave them to you, would you let me go? The bigger crime, the more wings you would want. Yeah, bribery wouldn't work. But I appreciate the sentiment. Wings over, the stereotypes. Absolutely. Have a great night. Drive safe, drive sober.